Many prophets, mystics, and thinkers experienced isolation on their path to enlightenment. Figures like Buddha, Jesus, and Lao Tzu shared one thing in common, and that is solitude. They understood the immense power that can be harnessed by spending time alone. In this video, we'll explore why solitude is essential for your journey and how you can use its power to shape the reality you desire. First, let's look at how we tend to act when we're not alone, around friends, family, or coworkers. Chances are, you adjust your behavior a little for each group. That's natural. We all do it. We wear different masks to fit in. It's how we learn to navigate the social world. But there's a cost to wearing these masks. They help us function in society, but they also bury our true selves under layers of pretense. The real you gets hidden behind the roles you play. Society often pushes us to compare ourselves to others and seek constant validation. It's a never-ending game of trying to prove our worth. This focus on external approval feeds our ego's hunger for status and recognition. When you're surrounded by others, your ego goes into overdrive. You become hyper-aware of how you appear, what others think of you, and how you measure up. It's exhausting, and it pulls your attention away from who you really are inside. As a result, many of us become emotionally dependent on this social validation. We need likes, compliments, and approval to feel good about ourselves. This creates a constant state of anxiety and restlessness. It's hard to find inner peace when you're always worried about what others think. On the other hand, society doesn't encourage us to spend time alone. In fact, it often views solitude as a weakness or a sign that something's wrong. We glorify being busy and constantly connected, but this non-stop social interaction comes at a price. The philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." We live in a society that avoids silence and self-reflection. We're so accustomed to noise and distraction that the idea of sitting alone with our thoughts feels unsettling. Yet, it's within this discomfort that we begin to see beyond the masks we wear and reconnect with the core of who we truly are. When you spend time alone, something remarkable happens. The masks you wear in everyday life start to fall away. Without the pressure to perform for others, you can finally be yourself. In solitude, your ego quiets down. It's no longer frantically trying to impress anyone or defend your social status. This creates space for a deeper self-awareness to emerge. The more you spend time alone, the more you begin to realize that your worth doesn't depend on other people's approval. You don't need constant validation to feel okay. You'll begin to realize that you are enough. Another thing you'll notice when your mind quiets down is that the thoughts and feelings you've been ignoring start to surface. It's like turning down a loud TV and suddenly hearing a quiet conversation in the background. Your fears, unresolved traumas, and suppressed emotions, they've always been there, but the constant distractions made it easy to ignore them. Now in the silence, you can't avoid them anymore. This might sound scary and it can be uncomfortable at first, but facing these inner demons is a crucial part of your spiritual growth. It's in confronting these difficult thoughts that real healing begins. During this process, meditation can offer you great help. As you sit in silence, you'll learn to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them. You start to see that you're not your thoughts, you're the awareness behind them. This process of facing your inner demons often leads to breakthroughs. You might suddenly understand why you react in certain ways, or you could gain clarity on a decision you've been struggling with. Now, I'd like you to imagine your mind as a lake. When it's choppy and full of waves, it's hard to see beneath the surface. but as the water becomes still, you can see right to the bottom. Solitude helps calm the waters of your mind, allowing you to perceive things you might otherwise miss. The universe is always sending subtle messages, but without a quiet mind, you can easily overlook them. As you spend more time in stillness, you'll begin to notice synchronicities and meaningful coincidences happening more often. This is a sign that your reality is shifting to align with your higher self and who you are becoming. There's a principle that guides the world we live in. The reality you experience will always reflect your inner state. This is known as the mirror principle. Once you understand this, solitude becomes essential for creating the life you desire. Spending time alone helps you clear your mind and identify what truly matters, not what society or others expect of you, but what feels authentic to your core. The first step in this process is to cultivate a clear, focused intention. Use solitude to reflect on what you genuinely want to create in your life. Write down what you want to accomplish and the type of life you want to lead, being as specific as possible. The more clarity you have, the easier it becomes to direct your energy and attention towards your goals. Once you've identified your intention, the next step is to use your time alone to mentally imagine yourself already living the life you desire. As you do, engage all your senses. Allow yourself to fully experience the emotions that come with achieving your goals. The more vivid and emotionally charged your visualization, the more powerfully it imprints on your subconscious mind, helping you bridge the gap between your current and desired reality. As you move through this process, you may encounter resistance or limiting beliefs. This is a natural part of transformation. When these thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment. Be gentle with yourself and recognize that these beliefs are simply old patterns that no longer serve you. Consciously replace them with empowering statements that align with your new intentions. This process requires patience and trust. The changes might not happen overnight, but each moment you spend aligning your inner world is like planting a seed. With continued nurturing, those seeds will grow into the reality you envision. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Even in your solitude, you're connected to something greater. Call it the universe, God, or your higher self. This force is always supporting your growth and evolution. Trust the path you're on. Those moments of solitude, when it feels like nothing is happening, are actually when the most profound transformations are taking place. You're doing the work that matters most, the inner work that ripples out to change everything. Every time you choose to face your inner world with courage, you move closer to the life you're meant to live. It may not always feel easy, but it's always worth it. You are becoming your true self and bringing the reality of your desires to life.